Today, you will learn the one opening that will change how you approach fighting power punchers entirely. Power punchers tend to be the stronger fighter in the ring, and this does not only mean that they do more damage, it also means they can take more punishment. We have to work extra hard to go around their punches, while they will willingly take one shot just to give one back. But this mentality is precisely their weakness. What if I told you that this power and the mindset behind it creates a pattern? A pattern that you can see in boxers like Teofimo and Canelo. By the end of this video, you will change how you think about punching. You will stop seeing your opponent's punches as a threat and start seeing them as an opening. We will be using Kelly's fight against Murtazaliev as the main reference. So let's get started by talking about where this opening comes from. And it comes down to physics. The more momentum an object has, the harder it is to stop it or pull it. In other words, the heavier a punch is, the harder is to recoil it. This can easily leave you open and off balance. This is really important because we tend to forget that a punch does not end at the delivery. It ends only after your hands are recoiled and you have recovered your balance and stance. Understanding punches under this light allows you to notice how often we see power punchers putting a lot of weight behind their shots, and this makes them lose their balance right after. If we watch Murtazaliev against Kelly, we can see how early in the fight, Murtazaliev was keeping his balance and staying composed, focusing on minimizing openings and staying mobile. As he started to feel behind in the fight, he started to punch bigger and harder, throwing punches that will unbalance him mid-shot. And that created openings that left him off position long enough to get dropped. As you just saw with Murtazaliev, the pressure of falling behind can make a boxer rush their work, and this can create more openings for us. Now, let's look at the psychology behind power punchers to understand why they are more susceptible to rush under pressure. Through history, we have seen that when the best fight the best, the boxer always beats the puncher. Even if the power puncher wins the first fight, the boxer eventually overcomes them and even widens the skill gap. Beyond Mayweather vs. Pacquiao, we have more recent fights like Fury vs. Wilder, Bivol and Beterbiev, Crawford and Canelo, Shakur and Teofimo. The boxer only has one way to win, by being smart in every exchange. They are forced to stay calm, stay smart, and keep problem solving round after round. Having to fight with this discipline through a whole boxing career forces you to be smarter and be a better problem solver. The power puncher, on the other hand, knows that landing one shot can solve their problems, and that confidence can make them one-dimensional. They build a career knowing that when things get hard, they can rely on their power, and in the end, this reliance on their power gets in their way, making them lose winnable fights. This tendency to rely on power under pressure is perfectly illustrated by Murtazaliev's rush to work when he hurt Kelly. Elite boxers in that situation will have been using setups to create the right window of opportunity to land the finishing punch. But Murtazaliev, relying on his power, rushed in to land the finishing shot. This gave Kelly the chance to smother him and buy himself time to recover. This is a mistake he has made before against other opponents. He still got the job done eventually, but it was because of his power, not his skill. Murtazaliev's mistake was trying to finish Kelly with his power instead of his skill, making a winnable fight slip through his fingers. Now that we understand the physical and psychological elements behind this opening, we can put it all together to start countering power punchers. If you have been able to piece things together, you will come to the conclusion that the best opening against power punchers is to attack right after they punch. With their confidence hurt, you can build a feedback loop, where the more you counter, the more they lunge forward. And the more they lunge forward, the more you can counter. This feedback loop benefits you since it makes the openings larger as the fight progresses. I know it is easier said than done, but just knowing that this opportunity exists will open your eyes to look for it. And suddenly, your opponent's punches stop being threats, and now they become opportunities. With that in mind, Let me give you 2 tips that will make you more effective at keeping the power puncher rushing their work so you can counter. The first thing you must accomplish is keeping a solid base as you defend. This is where a lot of boxers go wrong. As soon as you ask them to bait for the counter, they abandon their base as they move, leaving them unable to punch back. If anything, you may be helping your opponent to look good while they are putting you in the ropes. So, the first priority is to move and defend while keeping a solid base. This way, you can make sure to take as many openings as possible to get ahead quickly. The better you become at moving and defending with a good base, the easier it will be to start the frustration spiral in your favor. The second advice is to not overdo it. Land just enough shots to make your impression and leave. Many boxers try to land too many shots and overstay in the mid-range with the power puncher, and this just gives them the opportunity to hit you back and even the score. The safest way to approach this is by keeping things simple. 1 or 2 shots maximum is all you need. And make sure to punch and move in an angle for better results. This way, even if you get hit, you will not be there for a second shot. As long as you punch and leave before they can start punching back, you will stay ahead, allowing you to maintain your momentum through the fight. Now, you know where a power puncher's main opening is found. But if you want to learn how to use your footwork to outbox them, you can click on this video. If you found this video useful, share it with another boxer or a training partner that needs it. Sharing and subscribing supports the channel and allows me to bring you more videos like this.